Can everybody please, a round of applause for all of these guys that have been slandering Roger for these last couple of weeks, just for Rocks to turn around and get hit with the simp disease as well. Nobody is immune, my boy. The only two people, maybe three I can see Oda, I'll say four. The only four people I can see Oda not doing that with are Rayleigh, as we've seen already, Mihawk, Dragon, and Sakazuki. Them the only guys that Oda will not give hard eyes to popping out of their faces, okay? And even then, I still wouldn't be shocked and it wouldn't make me mad. Because there's this obsession with this concept of aura in One Piece, as if anything Rocks just did this chapter ruins all of his aura that's been built up these last couple of chapters from what we've seen. And if you're reading like that, I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. I don't, you know, these new age anime fans are literally obsessed with aura that they ignore storytelling, and that's how you get shows like Solo Leveling being as popular as they are. Anyway, let's not slander Solo Leveling. I enjoyed the first two seasons. I am eternally thankful for this flashback because it's given us so much information, so much lore, so much build up to what has kind of been hyped as the greatest war, maybe aside from Marineford, to happen in the One Piece current timeline, which is God Valley. And with that information, we're also kind of getting exposed to just how hypocritical and illiterate a lot of One Piece fans are. Because it's like every week there's some new type of stupid pushback to something that we are getting taught, right? So, this week's drama, I guess, is the idea that, well, if the reason behind God Valley was just Shaki being kidnapped by the world government, then that's lame. It ruins the buildup of this great war. And to that, I say, wow. Rocks is a gooner because he went and, okay, Rocks is a gooner, first of all. But anyway, Rocks is a gooner because he went and tried to save somebody who had set up shop on his island, right? A friend of his, some would say, right? If I come to your territory and I set up a bar, I can assume that I can look at you as a friend, and we know how Rocks is about his friends. That's a problem. He met his demise because of this. I'm doing a lot of stuff with my hands because I'm trying to put two and two together. But when Dragon was not willing to throw everything away that he was planning because Jenny had been captured by those very same celestial dragons, he was a bitch for not spinning the block, right? Why would he do that? Why would he just let her go? Like, is it Uchiwali or is it One Mic? What do we want these characters to do? I think that both reactions to somebody that they considered a friend being kidnapped by the Celestial Dragons were valid considering the situations. If Garp, why am I talking about Garp? If Dragon did not think that he should throw away his entire revolution plans to go and save one person who knew what they signed up for, then that's fair. I don't think that's bad. She knew what she was getting into. On the flip side, if Rocks thought that, hey, I'm not gonna let these dudes come to my island and take Shaki, who was the most beautiful woman in the world, I'm finna go spin the block. If he felt like he should do that, then that's also fair. So, you know how people are about women in anime. It's a lot of weirdness about how anime guys, how the dude bros are about women. So something so important being spawned from a woman's kidnapping is just hard to compute for them. When in reality, if it truly is the reason, because like this is all headcanon, we don't even know if this happened. But if that really was the reason, then it kind of lines up with historical events that I think God Valley is kind of being implied to be based off, which was the Trojan War. Helen of Troy, the wife of King Menelaus, I'm probably saying that wrong, but I don't really care. Rest in peace to bro, though, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Helen of Troy was presumably, we don't know for sure. I think it's different accounts from both sides. I mean, it's supposed to be ambiguous of whether she actually left with him because she loved him or she was actually kidnapped. But by the Prince Paris of Troy, which sprung the Trojan War. And I hope I'm not putting two and two together. I mean, two different wars together. But if I'm not mistaken, the Trojan War was when they used the Trojan horse. If it wasn't, hey, roast me in the comments. I don't care. But I think that was when it was. And if that was the case, then I think that we know Oda pulls inspiration. Even if it wasn't the same war, it doesn't really matter. Because we know Oda pulls multiple inspirations from a lot of real life events when telling his stories in his manga. So this idea of a Trojan horse could be reflected in this member of the Rocks Pirates that's seemingly the Rat. And who does everybody think it is? Silver Axe. So if Silver Axe is the Trojan horse, Shaki is Helen of Troy, who was also kind of considered to be the most beautiful woman in the world. Let's say Garland is Prince Paris. You know, I know everybody wants it to be Garland that kidnapped her the same way everybody wants it to be Shamrock that kidnapped Jenny. Were we saying that? Yeah, we were saying that. But anyway, and let's say Rox is supposed to represent the King Menelaus or whatever, whatever. But I'm not finna keep trying to pronounce that. I think that that's a very dope reason for a war to kick off, but that's also not the only reason. We can tell from the dialogue of the Rocks Pirates when they landed on God Valley that there was much more to this than just getting Shaki. Now, to Rox, we didn't really get Rox's individual reason, and I still don't think it's just Shaki, because I feel like there's one more missing piece that it's kind of intangible. That's actual tangible treasure. And it could be whatever became Captain John's treasure, because we know he got something, because he came on the island and he said, "This will be my treasure." So Captain John left there with something, and that's probably what it, and it wasn't Shaki. I mean, we can infer that, right? So whatever Captain John left with, probably after Rox died, he was like, "Well, I'm gonna just take it for myself." That became Captain John's treasure. That probably was the initial reason that the Rocks Pirates, or at least Rox himself, wanted to go to God Valley. So we have, let's save Shaki. There are a lot of rare devil fruits. They're committing atrocities on this island. Let's not forget that they're doing some very evil, fucked up stuff on this island. We need to go stop them. Maybe that's what Rox and Whitebeard. We know Big Mom didn't give a crap. Kaido definitely didn't care. But some people on the Rocks Pirates had a heart. And for this mystery church that we're not really aware of what it is, those are very justified reasons to raid an island with celestial dragons on it. And then you get the question of why Roger came, right? Well, whatever happened a year before God Valley when Rox and Roger allegedly fight, we don't even know if they actually fought. We just know that something happened that made Roger feel upset for a year. And I think Shaki being kidnapped could definitely be a part of that. So in my eyes, Gloriosa was in the Rocks Pirates. She left, we don't know when, but I think that we can infer that maybe Gloriosa joined the Rocks Pirates because of a Davy Back fight, because we know she was in love with Roger. So if she left for love sickness, going to the Rocks Pirates isn't really curing that love sickness, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Shaki was there in some way, shape, or fashion, and maybe this is when she was kidnapped. I don't know, this is all just spitballing. But I just want to assume that all of this is linked, right? Gloriosa didn't join the Rocks Pirates for no reason. I'm pretty sure she didn't do it of her own volition. So, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But anyway, yeah, just this nasty discourse that, the reason behind God Valley being Shaki being kidnapped, even if that was the only reason, I still don't think that's like a terribly written reason, but I don't think it's the only reason. I think there's much more to it, and that's probably going to be revealed whenever we make it up to that clash between Rox and Roger, because there most definitely was a fight between those two a year before God Valley, and that's probably where this flashback is going to end. I don't think we're going to get God Valley just yet. I think we're going to make it to that fight a year before, and we probably see everybody setting sail to go to God Valley and reaffirming the reasons why they're going. But yeah, I don't think that we get God Valley. Now, will I be mad if we did? Fuck no. But I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah. You know, it's actually kind of hilarious how Rox and Loki have become a footnote in their own flashback, but that's just how entertaining the Rocks Pirates have been, and Roger and Garp. It's just been too much to expect us to even be thinking about little baby Loki right now. So with that being said, though, this idea that the world government wants Harold to kill Rox to join the world government, I think that's got me wondering does he actually show up at God Valley? Is Harold gonna be at God Valley? I wonder. I think we would have maybe heard something about it by now, like in one of our talks or flashbacks about it. But then again, I mean, we literally did not know anything about God Valley before this flashback, so anybody can be there. I think we're still gonna get Dragon being there, and I think that Harold is definitely gonna show up at this point. But does he go through with this? No, he doesn't. I think that we're missing something, right? Hey, if you kill Rocks, you can join the world government. Howard refusing to do so still doesn't lead to him being Dami Reverse and having to be killed by his people. So maybe, everybody has this popular idea that Rocks is still alive through Blackbeard or whatever, or this and that. Maybe Rocks is one of the, maybe Harold is one of the reasons why Rocks was able to escape God Valley alive. And that's why the government had so much wrath and was upset with him. Because I think it's still very vague there. Obviously, we got to wait for more information about the actual people whose flashback this belongs to. So I don't want to give them too big of a section and just be over here just talking about nothing. But I wonder if he was there and aiding the pirates in that scenario, which kind of led to the government like, yeah, you're cooked, buddy. We're just gonna go ahead and just take what we want because you're not trying to work with us. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, excuse me, I'm sorry. My Rocks video got 2,000 views, man. That's amazing to me. I got 50 plus subs since then. I want to say something like that. I really appreciate y'all. The Dragon video did pretty good too. Thank y'all, man. I have a video recorded before this where I also explained the lore behind this do-rag being torn, but I wanted to go ahead and get this out while it was relevant because that video had something to do with the wings of the Pirate King. It's not really, relevant to the current events in the. I mean, you can say that, but it's not really relevant to the current events in these chapters. And I wanted to get some thoughts out about this chapter. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Like the video, subscribe, and be ready for more. I'll probably drop this today, and then I'm gonna hit y'all with a double whammy on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? We gonna flood the streets. But yeah, I appreciate it.